then the lady asked that how many women have actually heard about the AFTA. I think we were just like 10 in the hall. Yes, the AFTA agreement has been signed and is out there, but I can tell you that maybe 5% of the women have heard about it. They don't even know about it. And now, when you go online to Google it, there are too ambiguous for the women to download. So the reason why this kind of town hall meeting is good is that here we are talking about it. All the presidents of several associations are here. Now, if they hear about it, they are able to step it down to their women because they understand the language that the women speak, which is a very good move that they are doing. This sensitization, particularly for the leaders first, then it comes down. Sincerely, if we can really be carried along in the implementation of the AFTA, it will help us because women are the ones that have the cross-border challenge, when they are the ones that are involved in the informal trade, and because they cannot actually fight these men on the border, they just get to pay them something and they cross, and then it's eating into their profit, and they are not being captured on the data in the Bureau of Statistics. So this really, really will help us to be able to have a voice and to be recognized and not just talking about handing us down the small piecemeal, but we'll be recognized, we'll be captured, and we'll be in the data also. Sincerely, I feel that in as much as you hear that there are lots of women-specific loans, but when you come down to the requirement of the loans, they've not removed the bottleneck. Okay, they will tell you that they created a particular loan for women. When you get there, they're asking for collateral from these women. And these women do not have the collateral. So I think the first thing to tackle it is create women-specific loans that does not require collateral. Let their BVN be enough. Let their goods be enough. You can actually use the goods as a collateral. That means you have 100 bags of soya beans. It should be your collateral for me to be able to give you maybe 250,000 naira. They should use their goods as collateral because they keep creating these funds and these products for women specifics, but they don't remove the bottleneck. I can mention many that they've created this year alone. In fact, we're there at the launching. At the end of it, they spoiled the whole thing by saying that you come with collateral. So at the end of it, nothing has been achieved. So we are just rolling on the same spot and no progress. I think the number one thing is give them access to funds, affordable funds, and take out the bottleneck. Number two thing is give them access to market by removing those policies that is hindering them to be part of informal trade. We also want to be part of the formal trade. But by the time you see all the bureaucracies involved, then you just say, oh, let me just sell my Ugu and move. You understand? So let them remove all those policies that is hindering the women, and then let's have disaggregated data that will show that so number of women have achieved this, so number of women have achieved. Not that they'll just pack the whole thing together and say 500 people have achieved this. How many women are there among the 500 women? We want disaggregated data for women so that we can be recognized and we can be able to move forward.
But the truth is, where there is no law, there is no offense. And that is why you see the focus of this is for us to identify the legislative and policy barriers. Because when the laws are made and the room or the rule that allows women, concessions are not there for women, there are no penalties for big companies who don't train and bring up women. Those are the real barriers. Because in countries where things have grown, it is because there has been a deliberate law and a deliberate policy, like a procurement policy, that mandates big multinational companies to groom, handhold, and bring up women. Then the women will know the processes, they will know the systems, they will know how to walk the ropes. And once they do it, then all the women group they belong to will benefit. That way, what is written on paper will become real to them. On paper, everything is okay. The banks say they have the money, but the women don't get it. So what must we do in terms of a law? For instance, the banks always say they have the money. It's not saying you have the money. The indicator or the should be how many women have you given? So when you go back to declare your profits or you go back as a ministry to defend your budget, it should be how many women have benefited this year. How many business have you, women businesses or women-focused businesses? Because it's not just women-owned, women-led, women-focused. Have you been able to finance? Because if we can do that on an increasing basis, you find in a period of 5 years, we would have covered a lot of ground. But because the laws are not there, because the policies are not there, because there is no compliance, regulatory system is weak, then even the little law there, nobody does anything. and so the women remain there. And the women cannot change the law. It is the legislature that can change the law. They are even too few there to change the law. That is why we are having this town hall, so that when we finish, we will still engage and go back to say this law reform. Make sure that laws make private sector and public sector accountable to say how many women, how many services have you provided, how many loans. If you say you have a pool for women, financial inclusion, how many women have benefited? That is the bottom line. And that is why we are discussing today, for them to know that we know that so there are little provision, they are insufficient. And they must be more targeted at women and more result-oriented.
Well, I particularly am excited about this platform because now we have women here hearing from, should I say, the opportunity givers, that these are opportunities in place for them. Ab initio, from time immemorial, we have heard of these opportunities, and unfortunately, the women are not accessing them. It's just a paper thing and no implementation. Women still suffer. Women cannot grow their businesses. They cannot even bring it to an interstate marketing level, not to talk of international or export or global marketing platform. So a lot needs to be done. Now we have women on the platform, they're telling us that they are training women, they are providing services to upscale women in agriculture and trade. We have people telling us that they have opportunities to empower women through credit or financial aid. These are narratives we have always heard, and the truth on ground is that women still suffer and cannot grow their businesses. Women do not have security to run their businesses. Women cannot bring their businesses from the point of subsistence, eating in the family, to the point of marketing or to the point of exportation. So now that we are here, is a platform to interact. What do we need to do, and how are we going to get to a point where this can be achieved? We need to know the number of women that have benefited, and we need to know what to do as women to benefit from what you have said you can do.
Number one, let me first of all correct that misnomer. I don't see it as an accolade, because we were not told biologically that the brain of a girl child is inferior to that of a male child. So, and these are some of the problems, the fundamental problems, which even the girl child unconsciously have learned to believe that, oh, I can't do this. Biases. So anybody can do anything. Anybody can become anything. If I choose to be a dancer, I should be free to dance. If I want to be an engineer, I should be free to be an engineer. Then coming back to this place, you see, whether we like it or not, peer pressure is a very important strategy to get what you want all over the world. And that is why you have what you call World Bank today. That is why you have United Nations. That is why you have all these organizations. Because when people of common problems come together, they speak, their voices become louder, and it can easily be heard. So I think that is one of the strategies Nigerian women have decided to adopt in pushing for their problems. So if you look at this room today, you find out that you have women from diverse organizations all seated here, because we have some common challenges together. What are the challenges? We don't have disaggregated data, even as a country, whether it's for youths, because remember that a mother houses everything. A mother is a warehouser. She houses everything. A woman gave birth to you. A wife is probably taking care of you. So you need data. The economic, we don't have any data to plan in this country. We go about estimates. Estimates are no longer sufficient. So if we are all here, where women in mining comes together with Awits, comes together with women in agriculture comes together, you are able to generate data. Because again, do we really have the financial capacity to go and get this disaggregated data? So it becomes easy when you have a forum like this, where you can do some arithmetic summation and you're able to get to statistics. That is number one. Number two, you want to look at the issues. What are the issues? What are the issues confronting women? For example, whether we all like it or not, we all have security issues in the last few number of years. We all have security challenges. We all have monetary issues. If you go to the market today and you buy something for 5 naira, if you want to go tomorrow and buy, you can't use that 5 naira to plan. You see that it has gone to 8 naira. So we are all affected. And because Nigeria is not a manufacturing country, we consume. We all want to migrate from consumption to manufacturing. So we have common issues. That is, we want to add value. How do you add value, you understand, to a system? It seemingly looks as if our power has stabilized, but I doubt it. Why? Rainy season is always very good because you know why? Because you have the water level is high, so you can generate more electricity. But as we move into dry season, what is going to happen to all our businesses? Businesses that are dependent on energy. So we all have common energy problems. So if we sit down here, maybe in the process of discussing these things, capacity problem. Again, remember that in Nigeria, most times it's anything goes. Oh, what is happening in this sector? Even when you don't have the technical expertise, you won't even go and pick it up to want to learn. Nigerians are very lazy to learn. You understand? You read something on the internet, whether true or false, you start talking about it as if you are authority on it. Just last week, some guys were condemning a particular person. Oh, he did so, and so. Whereas the facts are not correct. But because somebody posted it on the internet, you understand, you just pick it as. But where we actually lack the capacity and we sit down together and you work, okay, in this area I want to learn, in this area I want to learn. So coming together like that, you understand, we actually help to make robust engagements that will push us in the right direction. Then coming to a sector where I am, that is mining. You and I know that Nigeria abandoned mining to go for the quick wins, and the quick wins are just what? Oil. You understand? Punch the hole, you understand, bring out the oil, whether you don't, even when you don't process it, just pipe it, you understand, and ship it into, and put it in a ship, it goes, and they bring the finished product. So we found that easy, quick money, and then we abandoned our mining. But the world has since moved from fossil fuel. The world is looking into some other things because that fossil fuel is creating problems, climate change. You could see that you are seeing cold in Hamatan. You are seeing rain in Hamatan. Those are evidences of climate change. So the world itself is penalizing and giving deadlines for the use of fossil fuel. We now have to look back to other alternatives, and those alternatives are what are taking us to mining. The phone you carry, you are recording. I'm sure you know that Tesla is coming up now with a new bank. That new bank, you don't even have to charge. You don't have to bother yourself about charging. Who will not go for that? You understand? And why? Because the guy is going to use your nickel, you understand, as one of the major materials. Chrome that you have all over the place. All the things we have, all the gadgets you have here are from mining. And you can see that when the world went to sleep and there was no mining, that is, during the COVID, the serious COVID thing, all the stores are empty because products could not be manufactured. And these are things we need to reassess and readdress if we want to be self-sufficient. If the same error we made in oil and gas, if we are not making it in mining.